morning, good Sunday, good Sunday morning, everybody. It is kind of cool here this morning, or maybe it's just upstairs that's cold. How are you guys doing? How was your week? How have things been? Anybody have any non-skill victories? I did. Well, actually, it's even, I realized, bigger than I thought it was about the Cheesecake Factory. I'm super proud of myself. I'm actually proud of Scott, too, this week, by the way. I mean, he's been amazing along my journey anyways.
That came off like usually I'm not proud of him at all.
I am always just more proud than normal. The fact that if some of you guys haven't seen my last video, we went and picked up my oldest sister at the airport down in Seattle. Hi, Karen. Hi, Katie. Hi, Mama Cat. So we went down to Seattle to pick her up, and it was like in the evening. So she was starving, and she's not carnivore. She kind of does the standard American diet. I shouldn't say kind of. She does do the standard American diet. Hi, Betsy. Hi, Rose. Hi, Colleen. Anywho, so we went down there. I knew she was going to eat, so we didn't pretty much eat all day. And I planned the day ahead. We were going to go to Cheesecake Factory, and I love Cheesecake Factory. It's like diabetes wrapped up into a restaurant. But we had the double bacon cheeseburger, extra patty, no bun. The poor waiter was kind of confused about what I was doing. And then I did no fries. I did do a Caesar salad on the side, no croutons. That was my treat because I love Caesar salad. Oh my gosh, that's like my new ice cream. I think that's a pretty good step up. Anywho, hi Peachy, hi Bruce, hi Cindy, hi Sarah. That's what we had, and it was phenomenal. I really thought I was going to crave missing like the stuffed mushrooms. I was going to miss the bread on the bun. I didn't at all. It was phenomenal, and honestly, for Scott's birthday, I want to take him back to have the same dang meal. That is the first time in my 34 years of life I have gone to the Cheesecake Factory and not had cheesecake. I was just proud as a peach. And the best part is not just not eating it, is I didn't have to argue with myself the whole time like, oh, Amanda, you're a bad person that you want to have cheesecake. And I had to like have that argument with myself the whole time I was there. No, it just didn't occur. Asked the waiter to not bring any bread. It was just, I feel like I've made like this huge turning point. I don't know. I feel like things have gotten so much easier. And then yesterday, Ryu was laying on the bed, and I looked and I just kind of saw her lay down, and her stomach, I'm like, what is wrong with her stomach? And she had this ulcer that I thought was possibly an abscess. And I don't look underneath her a lot just because with her neck, I can't turn her very easily, but I pay attention to my dogs really closely. So of course I went in panic mode. We called our vet, but they closed in 30 minutes. And then they weren't going to be able to see her till Tuesday. And I called like 3 other vet places open on Saturdays. And so we ended up going to the emergency vet. We got her in, and the good news is it's just more of a superficial like abscess. The vet there was like, she has clipping alopecia. So she has like, I could say shingles missing, just little sections on her back where she had previous little surgeries to remove like fatty tumors and stuff. And the hair's never come back, and it won't, just because her thyroid and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, the vet didn't even look at her. She pulled her into the room and she was like, so what's wrong? It's on her back. I said, no, it's on her abdomen. She didn't even look at her before she brought her back to us. She gave us some topical antibiotics and some oral. And then my sister, thank the Lord, my sister actually came up to where we live to go to a maternity store for some more baby stuff. And I asked her to come in the house and look at Ryu. And she did. And she said she thought it was a spider bite, which makes sense that it happened so quickly, because I would have seen it. I mean, the thing is like this big. I would have seen it before then. And spider bites can happen really fast. She said it was a spider bite and said the drugs that we got were fine and to keep it covered. So, love to my sister for being the best 24/7 family veterinarian. If I'd just gone to her the first time, probably would have saved us an emergency vet bill. Anywho, the best part I have to say about this is a long story that most of you probably just don't even care about. I was a hot mess in there thinking she had cancer or she has a congested spleen. We don't know why. We've had it checked out. I was like, maybe her spleen ruptured and she's bleeding from the inside out. It's necrotizing and all these terrible things going through my head. And my leg was jiggling the whole time. And poor Scott had to hold my leg down. I did not reach for food. Eating food didn't even occur to me. I was very stressed, but not one time did I realized through that, did I want food or even afterwards. So I truly feel like it's a turning point. And the reason I mention all of this is because if you are struggling, it has taken me a year and a half to get here. I've had moments where it's been very easy, but this feels very different. That it's like I finally have broken or at least weakened that tether that I'm constantly with high stress, that I'm reaching for food. So don't give up, whatever you're doing, y'all. Like just keep moving forward, because I can promise you, you will have that moment. It may be further down. It might be even closer. You might be 3 months in and you have that. I don't know, but it will come. Okay. Mama Cat, I've fallen hard and been eating all the terrible things I had given up for more than a year. I reached my goal and then seems to have given up. Tomorrow is my start over day. Perfect time. Perfect time. Something that I would think about, Mama Cat, and this is what I've always done when I've done a diet, is once I got to my goal, it's like, yes, done, check mark, I can move on. Versus I really, really, with carnivore, had to realize it's a forever thing. Even if I have a little Caesar salad here and there, and that's my new ice cream, it's a forever thing. And so even when you get down to your maintenance or your goal or whatever, viewing it as this is not just what's considered a diet where it's just temporary change in eating. And I promise you, if you view it that way, you will get right back on and be okay. And the thing is like, if I have Caesar salad once a month, and as long as I don't feel too bad, I don't really care. It's just, you know what I mean? It gives me happiness. I shouldn't say the Caesar salad gives me happiness. It gives me stresslessness knowing that it's okay if I have a Caesar salad every once in a while. Or heck, maybe it's a piece of fruit for somebody. Sarah, I've never been in the Cheesecake Factory, but I've known so many who love it. Yeah, not gonna lie, it is just diabetes in a restaurant. Everything is super carby. I mean, there's ways, obviously, we did the burgers. It is good. It is good.
For my birthday last year, we went to the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, yes.
And I think I had almost 5,000 calories in one meal.
They have this appetizer called stuffed mushrooms. He had 3 to himself. The waiter looked at Scott and he's like, where are you storing it in your legs? Are they hollow? Because he ate it all by himself.
They just put them all in one order, put them on a platter. And then I had a bacon cheeseburger on top of that. And then I had the chocolate mousse cheesecake on top of that.
He just had a lot.
I'm not doing that this year.
No, the closest thing is I might take him for a cheeseburger, but that's about it. Sarah, moved my parents close by, took my dad with Alzheimer's for a week, started drinking loads of heavy cream. I'm super inflamed and sore. Yeah. With the heavy cream, it can be hit and miss. Some people can do a little bit like I do. Pretty much right now, I do heavy cream in my coffee, and that's about all the heavy cream. Sometimes we'll make things like chicken cordon bleu, like the carnivore version, and it has some heavy cream in it. But other than that, I just don't. I have not used any heavy cream to make whipped cream and eat that. I just, I'm actually proud of that too. No dark chocolate, no heavy cream. Literally, I've been such a good girl. Monique, what do you think about drinking fizzy drinks on occasion? I can't quite give up the Diet Coke. If it's that one thing that's keeping you on the straight and narrow, come back to it in a month or two. Don't just settle as like, I'm going to drink this the rest of my life, but be okay that if it's that one thing that keeps you on, but there's alternatives. Take your Diet Coke and get plain seltzer water and mix it maybe a 3/4 Coke, 1/4 the seltzer water. And then over a couple weeks, change the ratios to a half and half, and then to where then you're not using it at all. I drink
Simple Truth.
It's Simple Organic Truth. There's Waterloo, LaCroix, seltzer, bubbly water, no sugar, no artificial sweeteners in it. I haven't been drinking them too often now, but that is a good thing if you're like a bubbly person. It is a good thing. Is it the best thing? Not so much, because there's natural flavors in it, which we all know is some kind of chemicals. But if it's that one thing that is just good enough, do it. They have AHA makes, it's, I think Coke owns AHA. They make a Fiji apple caffeinated one. And y'all, I've never been a soda person, but I've been a juice person. It tastes just like apple juice without sweetness to me. Yeah. Yeah, see, drink seltzer water, no sweeteners, and you get used to it. Once you cut the artificial sweeteners out, or to just every once in a blue moon, and you start drinking the just seltzer water, you kind of lose that sweetness. Honestly, the seltzer waters taste slightly sweet, just even though there's no sugar in it. I say the same thing about unsweetened tea. Sometimes it tastes a little sweet to me. Yeah, Betsy, the sparkling mineral water. And it's the best. If you mix it with regular water, you'll lose the bubbliness. The key is sparkling water with your Diet Coke as you're cutting it down. I can't think about not eating dark chocolate the rest of my life, or fruit, but that's probably going to be what I need. I have to take. Don't think, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. If you're focusing on what you're never going to have, you're trying to eat that whole elephant, or in our case, mammoth, because they're bigger. You're focusing on that. Don't do that. Maybe at some point a year down the road, you're going to have a bite of dark chocolate, once every 6 months. Who cares? It's about making the day-to-day consistency. That is the most important thing. Don't focus on what you can't have. Focus on what you get from what you do eat. And some people might disagree with this, but to me, it's what keeps me going is, yeah, down the road, I probably will have a bite of dark chocolate. Is it going to be next week, next month? Probably in the next 3 months? No. Maybe 6 months, maybe a year. It's nothing I plan, but if I do, I'm not going to beat myself up, because life is life. And with Atomic Habits, it's all about casting votes for what kind of person you want to be. And the decisions, our decisions are like casting ballots, is what he talks about. And if you eat one bad meal, or eat one, shouldn't even say bad, but one off carnivore meal, does that erase all of the other things you did? No. What happens is when we start making votes, making constant decisions of eating off carnivore meals, that's when we start to change. And that's the difference. And we have to kind of just, go from there. You're welcome, Miss Sarah. Yeah, just one day at a time, y'all. Just one day at a time. So Scott and I, after this, are going to go down to my there's 3 sisters. I'm the youngest, my middle sister, Jessie, my oldest sister, Melissa. I'm going to go to my middle sister, Jessie's, which my mom and my oldest sister are staying there. And my brother, niece, and my sister-in-law, good lordy, we're going to have a brunch. Which
they're allowed to come in for purgatory.
They're allowed to come in for purgatory. My sister's been very cautious, and, it's her choice and no judgment. She's been very cautious with the new baby, because the first 3 days, they don't really have a very good immune system. And I've been there just because we don't go around kids and stuff. But my sister and brother-in-law have been very about letting my 7-year-old niece, because she goes to school, come because of like RSV and stuff like that. But they finally get to see her, because I think Tuesday he'll be a month old. Time flies.
Yeah.
Mama Cat, I'm reading Atomic Habits now. Today I'm setting up my environment for success. Yes, that is super duper helpful. It's one of the best things that you can do. I mean, one of the best things.
I'd like to share something about that.
Cool.
That made me think. So over the last year, I've,
You want to come over here?
No, they can hear me, right?
Okay. Can you guys hear Scott clearly? Hi, Christine. How are you? You can keep on talking.
Okay. So, like over the last year, I really had to learn that I have my own desires for bad food. And like when we were going through the, struggling with taking the dogs, and the baby just came, and really splitting our time, and I kind of went off the rails for myself. And I realized that I am a lot of the struggle that is out there for Amanda. And so setting up the environment for Amanda is also me making sure I have a why and I don't even plant seeds of whatever. Like when we go to Cheesecake Factory, even if I want a piece of cheesecake and I like in my head say, no, I'm not going to have that. The fact of not saying anything to Amanda helps her. So if I said something like, oh, I really want some cheesecake, but I'm going to be good and I'm not going to have it. By even mentioning it, that makes it like something that's in her head that she's thinking about. So I just back off and I've not been saying anything because I want children too. And I think that has helped both of us really kind of change our attitudes. And what she said earlier about like turning the corner. So if you have like spouses or other people that are not really carnivore or they want to support you, just ask them to not mention their snacks or something or not talk about their cravings. That might help you.
I was surprised at how much of a difference it's made the past 3 weeks that he hasn't been doing it. And it led me to a self-discovery. Who wants to admit they're manipulative? What I realized is when he would say, I want X, whatever it is, something bad, right? I took that as it was like a chink in his armor, and I was going to dig an ice pick in there, and I was going to wear him down till he broke and caved to it, because I already knew it was a chink in his armor, so I took that chance. And honestly, I mean, looking at it, it's manipulation. That's what I was doing. Just like a drug addict, I wanted what I wanted, and I was going to use whatever tactics I could to get it. So by him not, and I don't either. I actually have been really good about not even kind of acknowledging if I've had a craving or anything like that. By him not mentioning it, he has no chinks in his armor, so I can't get that little ice pick out and stab at it till I can pop them. And I really hate to, I hate to say that about myself, but that's when you have an addiction to something, we will do things that we don't think we would do. And that was a painful but eye-opening realization for me. So, I know a lot of people have fun or have family. Maybe you have fun family. A lot of you have family that aren't doing carnivore. I think that would be the basic thing is like, if you're going to have something that's like your trigger, ask them to do it in a different room and not talk about it, because it does take a load off. I'm just so surprised. Yes, Scott, you're raising your hand.
I love you.
Just so you know, he raises his hand because I can't see him behind the monitor. Not that I make him raise his hand to talk in our house. Before someone thinks that.
Maybe you should make it a rule. Sometimes I talk way too much.
You can only raise your hand or talk if you raise your hand in this house.
Right.
Do the dogs, we have to teach them to raise their paws?
Kind of what I'm realizing too with man is talking about that. I think part of the reason in the past that I would mention that, I'm having this craving, but I'm going to be good, and planting that seed is like I'm trying to create a chink in her armor. It's almost manipulation, because I know if we go at it, we're just going to both break each other down, and I can get what I want. The other part of that for me is I'm not overweight. So I might have this attitude of, well, I can have a nutty buddy. It's not going to affect me that much.
I'm not overweight. I'm not fat.
Yeah, like I'm it's okay if I'm a nutty buddy. It's okay. So if I want one and I mention it for manipulation, then I can go have one, or I secretly go get some. And the problem is that is all about manipulation and not what is in both of our best interests. Because for myself, again, I want children, and more than that, I want to have all my marbles 30 years from now when I'm handing off one of my daughters to be married. Like, I don't want to be drooling and wearing diapers because I have too much sugar in my diet for the last 30 years at that time. So it's one of those things where I have to really kind of realize what I want in life. And to the book of Genesis about speaking into creation, it seems to me like it's better for us both and for myself if I just don't speak those once, keep control of them in my head.
Yeah. And it goes, and that's the thing is we both realized it goes both ways. It's not just me trying to stab an ice pick into his armor when he wants something, even though he's skinny, you can still have, the addiction to sugar. Danielle, anyone ever go through vertigo after starting carnivore? There's different kinds of vertigo, but most likely what you are experiencing is you're not consuming enough sodium or magnesium or potassium, but most of the time it's sodium because we tend to eat less salt when we have carbs because we get bloated because carbs retain water and water retains salt. And so then we're all bloated. That's why when you eat carbs, you get bloated. When you don't have carbs, your body discards the salt, the extra salt we don't need. Try having more salt. I would suggest doing some kind of electrolytes, or if you don't want to do electrolytes, because I use LMNT, but you can use whatever you want. You can do magnesium, potassium supplements, things like that. But just try, easiest thing, try upping your salt intake. You will find that you will not retain water when you are not eating the carbs. Betsy, we need a Scott and Amanda live day too. Y'all, the conversations Scott and I have are just ridiculous. We were driving to pick up one of our carnivore friends down the road, and I noticed the sign that said dead end, and then the next road it said no outlet. And so we had this whole 15-minute conversation about what's the difference. That's our conversations in life. Or we do the ridiculous conversation about dogs raising their hands.
Jennifer may post about her progress in 8 weeks.
Okay. Katie, what's your thought on extended fast? I've been doing 36-hour fast Wednesday and Friday, but sometimes I want to include Monday. Been using the Bank of Me, but also don't feel like eating. Is it too much? Personally, my answer is going to be yes. Fasting, especially for females, is extremely hard on our hormones. I wouldn't do a 3-day fast more than every 2 weeks, to be frank. Intermittent fasting, like kind of what I do is we will eat at 5 and then I don't eat till like 10 o'clock the next morning. So my window's a lot smaller. But I found when I started adding in more fasting like that, my hair started falling out by the gobsfuls, as well as it started messing with my period more. You do you. This is Amanda's opinion, which means nothing except to myself. But personally, fasting can be very, very hard on female anatomy and male, but more females than anything. Hi, Julie. Yeah, thin people can be metabolically unhealthy. Yes, they can, especially when you have a lot of fat around your abdomen. It wasn't like weak dizzy. It was a day of vertigo. It was so bad. So even with low blood pressure, you don't have to have the weak sensation. You can have the room spinning off balance, and it can be because of blood pressure. I would strongly try just upping your salt intake. The weak dizzy usually tends to be from carb withdrawal, like just the body switching from carbs to fats for burning, and that you get that weak, not feeling great, dizzy feeling. Hi, Brian and Amy. Jennifer's comments up. Oh, hi, Jennifer. Okay, I did see this and I didn't click on it. First live, welcome. Started ketovore 8 weeks ago, down 15.4 pounds. That is amazing. Congratulations. I hope you're feeling much better because it seems like you are. That is fantastic. I weighed myself this morning and I've lost another pound. I did TMI for the guys, sorry, but I did literally just start my cycle. So we'll be curious to see next Sunday if I have a larger drop because of my cycle starting, and it'll be done before then. But I don't care. It's a pound. I'll take it. Plus we went hiking Friday. I don't know. We've been pretty active this week. We went hiking. It was probably Friday. I don't know.
Yeah, it was Friday.
Lose track of my days. We went up.
Rocker.
Well, we went to the big rock garden, and then we walk along the railroad trail behind our house, which then leads to, I forgot, another trail. Then we go through this preserve. It was about 5 miles. I about killed my mother. She hadn't been walking that far, and it is steep going one way. So steep, they have sets of stairs you have to go up. It was a lot, but it was wonderful. I took, Ryu, and pushing the stroller up those stairs, it was quite a funny sight for us. Julie, can keto make you tired? I mean, really, really tired. Yes. My question, Julie, is how long have you been on keto? I could give a more specific answer to that. I've been holding fast, but not perfect. I did decide not to weigh myself. That scale really triggers me. You gotta figure out what works for you, because if it sends you down this like mental spiral of obsessing, I found the more I obsessed about wanting to lose weight or the number on the scale, the worse I did, because then your cortisol levels spike. It's harder to lose weight. You trigger more wanting to eat sugar because your body goes in stress mode. I mentally got to the point where once a week is like my spot on kind of thing. Hello, was happy you weren't stressed out while eating a cheesecake. Yeah, I experienced zero stress. I was actually really excited to eat there. The big change too for me with that was I planned ahead. It's like I planned before I went into the lion's den, and I had just made the choices. There's no way I was going to deviate from the plan I made. If you have to go in a situation like that, do it. It helps so much. And like I went in there with cement mind of I didn't even need to look at the menu. Like we didn't need the menu. We already knew what we were going to eat. Boom, done. And it helped to not letting that like voice kind of take over. Like, well, what about whatever? Okay, 8 months. I would be curious if 8 months, unless you're having little snacky treats here and there or off, keto kind of stuff, like maybe your carbs have slightly crept up. That is where I'd start with. 2, are you consuming enough fat? If you are leaning towards leaner meats and not a lot of fat, your body, it's considered like protein sparing modified fasting, where you're surviving more on protein, and you will get weak. Like weak. I did that for a while when I was in college. And I remember specifically walking through the university campus, praying that my feet, one foot would step in front of the other. I was so lethargic. So check to make sure you're not having carb creep happen, and look at how much fat you're eating. I'm not suggesting eating sticks of butter a day, but try maybe adding a little bit of butter, adding just a little bit of tallow or some kind of fat each meal, and see how you feel afterwards. That's where I would start with that. Hi, Mary. I'm addictive personality. Me too. Quit smoking 40 years ago. Congrats to that. That is an amazing, amazing feat to do. Quit drinking 30 years ago. Lady, you say you have an addictive personality, but here you are quitting the smoking and the drinking? Food addict. So hard to stop the food addiction. It is. Mary, if you have not read...
You're on it.
Oh, you guys are sitting on top of it. If you have not read, we'll just do it. Atomic Habits. Do it. This book, Atomic Habits, James Clear, read this book. It has helped me more than anything. You do know what the key to successful permanent weight loss is? This is literally the only key we will ever need. Okay? Changing our habits to better habits. That is it. There is no magic pill. There is no magic regimen. It is because our habits are different for every person. The habits that got me 360 pounds are not the same habits that got you overweight, right? It is adjusting and changing our habits every single day, slowly, so it's not like this shock to the system. That is the key. There is no miracle. Scott's raising his hand again.
So, what we're talking about, the system says you cast votes for yourself. Because when you do things more often, you start to believe in who you are as a person regarding that. So when you quit smoking after a year, 2 years, 5 years, however long, you realized I'm not a smoker, right? And then I'm not a drinker. So you did things enough and you changed those habits enough that you changed how you thought of yourself and what you believed in yourself of who you were. It's a symbiotic relationship, because people that, I am an addictive eater and they eat sugar all the time, they believe they're an addictive eater, but when they start stopping, they say, nope, today I'm not going to have this. and then 2 days, and then 3 days. And then they're like, I'm not an addictive sugar eater. I'm a healthy eater. And then, they start to exercise and they exercise 1 day, 2 days, and they're like, I'm a fit person. Those activities is how you change who you are and how you believe in yourself, how you view yourself. I love one of the things that Amanda does every morning. I'm going to have a great day when she gets up.
Make the bed, and it's today's going to be not a great day. Lord, today is going to be a wonderful day.
There you go.
And that's just something I say every day. Today's going to be a wonderful day. Yesterday, today's going to be a wonderful day. Did we go to the pet emergency room? Yes. Did Ryu come home whole and intact? Yes. It was still a wonderful day. It is the small things. And it doesn't, and this is something that took me so long, and this is the key, so long to understand. It is these tiny, repetitive little votes that we have, these little tiny decisions, and it doesn't even have to be about food. Making the bed has nothing to do with food. But you know what it is? It's a vote towards me being a active, healthy, organized individual making the bed. And what does that do? That makes me feel better about myself. So it makes it easier to choose to eat carnivore. So it's these tiny little small things. Maybe the bed means nothing to you, but I like organization, and it feels like chaotic when my house is a mess. And this is why I say it. When I say tiny habits have to change, it's going to be different for each person based on our experience and personality. But that is a key to weight loss, to having success, carnivore, keto, ketovore, whatever, and maintaining permanent, healthy weight loss. That's it. Like, there is no, I can give you an exact blueprint, but just focus on the tiny little habit changes. And I promise it makes a difference. Because think about the times that you felt really good about yourself in your life. I promise you, you've been choosing and casting votes towards that person you want to be, even if they've been tiny, and it's made a difference. So, Mary, you absolutely got this. Just keep casting those tiny little votes towards the person you want to be. And also realize if you cast 50 votes this way and 3 the other way, it doesn't erase the 50 you did. That's it. So when we fall down, so I tell people, when you fall down, do not give up. Because it's one vote you cast the opposite direction. It doesn't mean it's the end all be all. Okay? I don't want anybody to quit, because it's taken me a year and a half to get mentally where I'm at. I've had good moments, I've had bad moments, but I finally had the clarity of just letting go. And it's taken me a while to get here. And I want that for everybody, because it feels amazing. Brian, I read Tiny Habits with your suggestion, but my question is, how do you apply that in going carnivore? I have an intermittent fasting carnivore for the past year, and I feel like sometimes it's so hard. Specifically, what is so hard for you? The tiny habits like that we've changed is this week is Scott not mentioning when he has cravings. Just doesn't even mention it. That is such a small thing that doesn't trigger me anymore. Like it removes me finding that chink in his armor. Okay. So that's how, and it's not like every day I'm like, oh, here's another tiny habit I'm going to do. It's we stumble upon things like that. Like, oh, well, this makes a big difference for both of us. Okay. So if you can be a little more specific, Brian, that would help. I can answer much more clearly. Yeah, she's right. Drink water with salt added. And okay, thank you for mentioning the iodine. Y'all, if you do not eat a lot of seafood, and preferably wild-caught seafood, something that I do every day is I have 2 drops of Locals 2%, you can get off Amazon, iodine in my coffee. Why? Because we no longer use iodized salt. Why don't we use iodized salt? Because there's anti-caking agents in the salt, which are toxic in large doses, which can't be healthy in small doses. So I use the iodine. Iodine needs for thyroid, which is our metabolic function, but also every cell in our body needs iodine. Okay. So that is something I strongly suggest. Scott does it. I do it. When my mom's here, she does it. She always forgets to buy some when she goes home, but we don't eat a lot of seafood. Okay. I'm sorry. Did you want to say something, honey?
I probably forgot it.
Sorry. Agreeable gray. The rewards are better than the sacrifices, which are not even sacrifices, since the gains from giving up since the gains from giving up self-destruction lead to the most amazing lives we could ever imagine. And I think the problem is when we're in the midst of it, it's like you can't see the forest for the trees because you're in the middle of the forest, and we sometimes just get sunk in and we can't see the forest. So we kind of get, off track. Hi, Rita. Thank you so much. I have seen your post last couple of days as I'm facing a similar situation. Haven't been able to resist the call of junk this time. That is okay. Wipe yourself off, dust yourself off, and know you're just casting votes a different direction. And that's okay, but you want to cast votes more the direction you want to head. Who do you want to be? What kind of person are you striving to be inside? Yeah. Betsy said, love Atomic Habits. She was the one that actually for book club suggested it for us. And I love the book. Christine, new doctor pleased with weight loss. That's amazing to carry on with carnivore if it's working for me. Perfect. So jealous that you get to hold your baby nephew. He is the sweetest little sweet pie. Although he's been pretty bad at night. I shouldn't say bad. He sleeps all day and then stays up all night. Rita, reading Tiny Habits and loving the ideas in it. Yes. Atomic Habits is extremely good. It gives you kind of the fundamental understanding. Tiny Habits, they're both, I think, well worth reading. I would probably read Atomic Habits first, then Tiny Habits. Or if you're the kind of person that does better with being given solid ideas, Tiny Habits has like actionable advice for changing small habits in it, where Atomic Habits kind of more has you do a little bit more work. Both good books, but read them both. Hi, Candace. Better late than never. You are perfectly right. Looking forward to your interview with Kip. Yes, Friday, stuff happened, life happened, and poor Kip. It was hours later that I was able to email him, but we have rescheduled for, put it in my phone with like 50 alarms. I think it's the 14th. Yes, I will be with Kip on the 14th at 4 o'clock Pacific time. Mary, I'm the same way. I need a clean, organized house. I use food for my stress. Yeah. I'm an organizer, so I need it to be organized. But I also found, even if you're not, when we have messy stuff around us, it tends to clutter our brain. I know that sounds crazy because it's the external stuff, but it really, really does. Hi, Robin. Welcome. When's your interview with Kip? I'm scrolling late in the thing, so you probably saw that already. The negative talk of one bad step should not be louder than all the positive. Yes. And that's why I have said so many times, if you fall, don't let that, in Landmark, they call it the already on, always listening voice. Don't let it tell you that you did something terrible and fall off. That is what has happened to every previous diet I've ever done. It's like, it doesn't matter. I've been good for 3 months. I ate Chinese for a meal or something and I'm a terrible person. Might as well quit. Don't let that voice take over, because one vote the other direction does not outweigh all the votes in the positive direction that you're headed. Okay, Brian, what's hard real life? Family and the world, not eating, supporting, and busyness. Gotcha. So this is where setting up your environment is so important. If you have family members in the house that aren't doing carnivore, what I strongly always suggest is aggregate all their food, or maybe all your food if it's less, and put it in a cabinet that you don't have to go into if it's their food, or a cabinet, only one cabinet you need to go into for yours. So out of sight, out of mind. We had one lady at the meetup say that her husband ate bread still. So she took a rag in the refrigerator, because he kept the bread there, and just covered the bread up with the rag. So she didn't have to see it every time she opened the refrigerator. Those are the steps. Secondly, for the not having the support, are you and your wife doing it? I'm curious. Or is it just you? Because that would be helpful. Find communities. This community, Dr. Barry's, whatever community that's going to help to give you the support that you need. And we are doing book club, y'all. We're doing book club next Thursday. Let me not open my mouth and put my foot in this. Next Thursday, so not the 9th, the 16th, we're doing book club in Discord. It is free. You can go to the library and get the book. We're doing Tiny Habits. We'll be doing every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific. You just go to the Carnivores Me website and click on book club, and it kind of tells you how to join the Discord for free. Join things like that. Support yourself with other like-minded people if you're not getting the support from your family. Scott raised his hand.
I want to help you out a little bit, Brian. So one of the things is that, in a marriage, there's a lot of kind of back and forth and sharing, and you come to an agreement. But in your other relationships, it's okay to negotiate with family and friends what you value and what you want. I mean, generally speaking, your friends you pick from similar values and interests. And if eating carnivore and your reason for getting healthy is very important for you, just have that conversation with those family and friends and ask what they're willing to do for you or give up to negotiate with you and help you get along a little bit better. And maybe it's just, to what Amanda said, put some a towel over the bread, or maybe it's for them that they move some food out of the way, or they simply don't talk about their delicious cake they had that morning for breakfast.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, it's okay to negotiate with your loved ones.
And that's actually a very good point too. If people are kind of Debbie Downers on it, you can just tell them, be very direct. You do not have to agree with what I'm doing. You don't have to agree with it, just to respect the choice that I'm doing this for myself. And that is all you need to say, because if they keep pushing past that point, then it says a lot about them. If you're very direct and say, listen, you don't have to agree with this. I don't need to convince you, and that is okay. This is my lifestyle I'm choosing, but I need you to respect it. And if they don't, well, that's a different conversation to have, I think. How's your cholesterol on this? I believe my last cholesterol was 133, 129, something like that. So my cholesterol's fine. I get advanced cardiac panels done too, because long story short, my PCP sent me to a cardiologist despite not having any cardiac issues, because my cholesterol was higher than 99, 100. So we do all of that. So mine's excellent. Scott's actually went down too, surprisingly. It has more to do with genetics than anything. Bruce, sorry, if I lived in Seattle, I'd be eating lots of salmon. I just don't care for fish. That's my problem. Unless it's breaded, and I can't do breaded fish. So, but if you like fish and you like seafood, eat it. Go for it. Hi, Craig. Inspiring. I am yet to start carnivore. I want everything in place. What's the one thing you would recommend, with the exception of stocking up on meat? Getting rid of the sugar out of your house. And 2 things. Reading Atomic Habits and Tiny Habits. I guess that's 3 technically. Start with reading Atomic Habits. It is an amazing book, and it'll set you up for success in planning out your habits. And it actually helps you identify habits that are detrimental to your goals in life. Start there.
Also have nice tasty treats to help you get through the day, like butter bites or jerky or bacon.
Another thing that reminds me, do not let yourself get to the starving point, because when I get starving, everything sounds tasty and I'm more likely to eat off. So don't sit there and eat nonstop all day long, but when you're getting hungry, don't wait 2 hours later to feed yourself. D, I think that you have a weight scale that also reads body fat. There's one on sale today. I was ready to order it. Then a review said that it just pulls body fat and muscle mass values based on your height and weight. That it doesn't actually measure. I don't know if this is accurate for this model anyways. Sharper Image Spa Studio digital scales. Any thoughts? I have never used any of theirs. I did a ton of research before I did the Oxaline, and the reason Oxoline, something like that. You have to order it off their website. Amazon doesn't have it. They have knockoff. I did a ton of research because theirs was plus or minus 3% accuracy compared to a DEXA scan. And from what I've had with it, it's been pretty dang accurate so far. But I don't know about that one, D. I think I paid I want to say $100 for the scale. The one that I got, something like that. Hi, Karen. I've noticed since I've been on carnivore that I prefer my eggs with much more runny. Before I'd have hard as bat eggs. Oh, that's funny. Our tastes change. It really does. I made the chuck roast. Listen to me. I made it. Scott made the chuck roast in the crock pot, and it's phenomenal. Y'all, I think I mentioned this last time, and I'm going to probably mention it 30 times until I make a quick recipe video. Tallow in the bottom or avocado oil if you're doing that. Warm it up. Toss the meat in it. Season it however you want. Salt, pepper, or we do salt, garlic powder, onion powder. That's it. Put the meat in there with the seasoning on all sides. Lid. 8 to 10 hours depending on your size poundage of meat. Scott flips it every 2 hours. You don't have to, but he does. On low. It will blow your mind. Do not add water. Do not add stock. Do not add any kind of broth. Do not be tempted to add it. It waters the flavor down. Get to the end of it, pull the meat out when it's fork tender. Take an immersion blender, or if you don't have that, dump the juice into a blender. It cannot be a mixer. It has to be a blender. Blend that sucker up. Put the meat back in, shred it, let it sit 15 to 30 minutes. You will thank me. It is the bomb. The reason I mention this is my oldest sister had it, and she's like, oh, yeah, it's pretty good. Nah, it's delicious, but she's eating a very standard American sugar carb diet, so our tastes changed. So I'm not surprised. Hello, it's all about health. First time on your channel yesterday. Love your story and progress. Congrats. 3 months into my carnivore journey towards better health. Yes, I hope you're feeling better. I do best when I stay mostly carnivore. If I give this mouse a treat, I go off the tail rails. I'm assuming this is what I meant. Yeah, everybody's just, oh, I'm the wife. And no, it's just me. Hubby says he'll do it, but then he brings stuff in that isn't carnivore. It's more our external family friends because we're very social. Just, you don't have to explain your carnivore to friends and family if you don't want to. Just say, I'm doing a low carb diet. I'm doing keto, however you want to word it. And just say, hey, listen, it would really mean a lot to me if you didn't put this in front of me or push this on me. And just be honest, be direct. Don't expect other people to just think that way, because a lot of them don't. Because a lot of people see food as love. They genuinely see food as love. And so they feel like if they're not pressing it upon you, they're either not being good hosts or whatever. I let that go. I tell people, I will buy you some vegetables when you come to my house, some asparagus, something, salad, something, but I will not bring sugary stuff into my house for people. But it's taken me a while to get there. Okay. So just express it, And with your husband, have a deep conversation with him. I've been very lucky with Scott that he has jumped on every single diet I've ever done, including the stupid eating boiled white potatoes for a few months. Have a conversation with him without being like trying to convince him it's good for him. Make it more about, this is making me feel good, and I really need this from you, like the not mentioning, sugary stuff and not bringing it into the house. I think having that conversation with him, you'd be surprised if we're very clear in expressing the values of how it's helping yourself versus, hey, this is good for you, you need to do it. Who likes being told what to do? And as he sees you do better, he'll jump on. Candace, for me, ketovore are so much easier to get back on track than any low-fat diets. Oh my gosh, low-fat diets, I was hungry all the time. Had to eat every 2 hours or I was going to faint. Have you tried eggs other than chicken eggs, goose, duck, turkey? So good. I know you're not asking me, but I have not. We got some yesterday. My mom wanted to go to Hobby Lobby, and Scott knows I love Snoopy. I have forever. So he got 6 throw blankets of Snoopy. He agreed to let me throw the old ones away, though. And he's over there covering the dog up. If it wasn't such a mess over there from my crocheting stuff, I'd show you. It's a hot mess in that corner from the crocheting. I need to get a backbone. You know, you just need to be direct. It's not about being mean or strict. Just be direct in expressing what you need. That is it. This is what I need. Boom, 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 boom. Whatever it is, just express it. Because I have been like this. There's a comedian Scott likes. What's his name? Jeff. Oh, Jeff Allen.
It's hilarious.
It is hilarious. But my favorite like little skit part was he was talking about how his wife would like obtusely make comments and he was supposed to discern the meaning behind it. And one of them was like, he walked in the bedroom and she looked at the ground, pointed, and she's like, "Are those your underwear?" And he's like, "God, I hope so, because if not, I've got questions for you." Versus saying, "Pick up your underwear," it's like, "Are those yours?" Well, of course they're his. I mean, hopefully they're his. That is something that I've done for a very long time, and I've been trying to be much better about just being direct and not making people read between the lines.
Walking out the door with golf clubs on his back. "Where are you going?" "Oh, I'm not going golfing. I was just going to put these in the truck. I'm going to go back and mow the lawn."
He's really funny, and it's clean.
Yeah, it's very clean
humor.
Yeah.
Cindy said she uses the we're going with Buell scale. That's funny. Yeah, it does water, protein, muscle. It's, you just got to kind of do the research and see what you want. Amy, I just realized that you did give me good advice here, but I was wondering, how do we apply Atomic Habits or Tiny Habits to start carnivore? Feels like it's an all or nothing. Go big or go home. No. Some of my older videos, I do mention you can either jump 2 feet in or go a little bit slower. As I have gotten older and done this longer, realizing our tiny habits make such a difference. Change small habits every day, every week, whatever you can find. Okay. So start by removing the sugar, or if that's too much, start by removing grains. Go a few days, go a week without that. Then start removing the processed food, and then start by removing pretty much all the sugar, and do these little steps of removing things so you're not like so shocked. Maybe you're a soda drinker, switch that out for seltzer water. You're a juice drinker, switch that out for flavored seltzer water with no sugar or artificial sweeteners. The small things that you can just keep changing, and then it's not such a big shock. Because the reason I was able to have such success when I first started this is I went to the hospital thinking I was dying. I had a drastic perspective change happen, and we only ever experience those a few times in our life, and we can't generate them. That's why so many times I've started to do a diet. Not that I see this as like a diet anymore, but I started to do a diet and I'd always fail or fall off, is because I wanted to go from 0 to 1,000. Baby steps. Carnivore seems like too much. Start with keto, or start with low carb, and then keto, then ketovore, then carnivore. So sorry, honey. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. This is for both Brian and Amy. And also
Amy is the one talking.
Amy's the one talking.
Yeah.
Okay, and for Craig above, he's like, "I've yet to start. What are you going to place?" Really, I guess the biggest thing is to deal about carnivore is realizing you're going to face plant. You're going to be like, "Oh, I'm doing so good," and then like it seems the wind blows in a little breeze, and you're like, "I just had 4,000 calories at Cheesecake Factory," which is what I've done once. It's not the end of the world. It's learning that you face planted once. What do you really want to achieve? Getting up and then trying again.
Yep.
And just start and keep going and finding your why. For me, the last 3 weeks, not talking about my cravings at all, not speaking into existences. I want children. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is going to be a goal, and you're going to hold us both to this. I want to start doing IVF with Amanda in like 9 or 10 months. Okay? We're going to have this goal. We're going to get to her weight where we can start doing IVF, and within a year, I want her pregnant. Eye twitching over there, I see from Amanda.
I was more blinking than anything.
Finding your why is very important because that will help you get up.
And your why may change.
Yep.
My why when I first started was I wanted Rosie, the black one. I wanted Rosie to live a long, healthy, happy life. And then she died at like 10 months into this. She died. And I struggled for months and months and months and months and months because I lost my why. My dog died. She had a medical emergency and she died. And so my why kind of shifted. And my why now is I want to have kids. I want to make tomorrow better than it is today for myself and others. So it'll shift and be okay with that because, we grow older, we change, all this kind of stuff, Hi, Trish. I tell people I'm on an elimination diet and that I'm only eating animal-based foods. Yeah, you don't have to tell them everything. I'm on an elimination diet. I'm doing just a low carb diet, just however you want to word it. They have no, how do I say this? Not respect. My brain. You are not obligated to tell them everything. Can I send you the Afghan I started 20 years ago for you to finish? I do better making, can you hand me that, honey? I'm going to show you guys. For those who are crafty and crocheters, I'm making my niece, Aria, a 2-foot tall, we're calling it a pegacorn because it's a unicorn mixed with a Pegasus. This is what I got so far. The ears are still a little funky. I still got the wings and obviously the legs and the mane and the tail and its little unicorn to make. But this is how far I've made it with this sucker. It's taken me forever. Here.
Where's your sparkly?
Oh, it's fine. Candace, have you ever used keto chow shakes? I have not, but I did. What was that? Those shake people we did that forever ago?
Herbalife?
Herbalife. I think those were low fat. Like we did Herbalife for a while. It has ruined me on any kind of protein shake, even if it's low carb. I don't think I'll ever do another shake for the rest of my life. It ruined me from doing Herbalife. But from what I understand, people like them. So, but that's me. It ruined me. Smile Jonalyn. I started watching Dr. B. The surprise I've been on carnivore diet for 2.5 months and all my inflammation in my left leg is gone. Love this. Yes. Our bodies, if we remove all the toxins and all the inflammation caused by sugar and stuff, our bodies are amazing things that can repair and heal themselves. They just have to be in an environment that they're not just constantly being toxic junk being dumped into them. Hi, Anne. How do we join the book club? I have the Discord app. What next? If you go to the website, Anne, the carnivorousme.com, there's a tab that says book club. There's a little Discord link. I kind of put there, click below the Discord link. It will add you to the server. And then you just pop into Discord Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific in the book chat room. If you use Discord, you'll see it. And that's how you do it. Grip for keto, not a moderator, go big or go home. I can't slide slowly into carnivore. And it is all going to be based on you, based on your personality, based on how well you do things, based on your history with dieting. Okay. We have to decide individually. If I had to redo this and I didn't have the experience with the hospital, I would honestly do better switching from like low carb to keto to ketovore to carnivore. I could honestly say I'd do better that way. I made the mistake of not getting rid of it when I got back on carnivore. It was too handy and it had to go. Yeah. Get rid of the sugar, chuck it out, donate it. Scott actually, and I went through, we have like emergency food reserves and stuff. We went through and donated a lot of food to the food bank. How old are you? I am 34. Is that terrible? I have to like count back how old I am because sometimes I forget. Are you guys working with Dr. Kiltz for the baby project? We haven't done anything yet with that. Dr. Kiltz is in New York, if I remember correctly. We most likely will have to go down into Seattle to have like the IVF stuff done. I face planted so many times. I'm surprised my nose is still in the middle of my face. That's too funny,
That's
Candace.
awesome.
That's okay. You just keep getting up. That was a good laugh I needed today. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Oh, Lordy. D. Okay, you guys, this is the smallest, but this is the thing I'm most proud of. Look at my little mushroom. He's so cute. I'm going to make a mushroom family. He's supposed to have a little mouth, but I don't have like the skinny thread stuff to make his mouth yet. I keep needing to get it. But I'm going to make him a mushroom family. He's so sweet. Oh, that is so funny. Oh, Lordy. Okay, let's speed through these. We're at the time. Let's see. I sometimes say, why do you ask? If they really want to hear about the path of health. Yeah, it's a good thing. If they're kind of pushing about it, why are you asking? Sean, it helps make small, sustainable changes. And that is the key word, sustainable changes. Not drastic changes, sustainable. I know most people think that what I'm doing now is considered drastic, but not in the least because it's been sustainable.
Especially at chuck roast.
Mm-hmm. Weird thing about it, my blood pressure has gone down. Always used to be 140/90, now 120/73. My doctor's shocked, I'm assuming is what you meant. It's because inflammation in the blood vessels cause higher blood pressure, plus carbs make you retain water. Water retains salt. So then there's kind of the trajectory of having higher blood pressure because, well, one, inflammation from the sugar and the processed toxins in our body. Two, the carbs, it's like a 3-to-1. Don't quote me, but it's like 3-to-1 for every carb you have. You retain 3 molecules of water. Then salt follows water. So a lot of carbs, a lot of water means if you have a lot of salt, you're going to retain a lot of it. Remove the carbs, you won't retain the water, you won't retain salt. Plus, you lose the impact of the inflammation from the sugar not being in the body. Sealand, I believe we need to stop using anything that comes into our lives as an excuse to not being committed to any lifestyle. I just started carnivore a month ago and feel great. Thank you. Selena's right. It is hard sometimes when you're in the middle of the forest, and we have all used excuses to get what we wanted or not wanted. And so just being able to be honest with ourselves. Okay, last one. Miss Donna, I want to tell you you're such an inspiration to me. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you. You're so sweet. I was going to share mine, but I'm too scared to be on camera. You never know unless you try. You never know. Okay. Hi, Mark. All right, y'all. We are going to pop off. We need to leave in 20 minutes to go see the baby. I don't care about the food. I just care about the baby.
I care about the food.
We're making bacon and eggs and sausage for our family brunchy. Anyways, hi, Danita. I hope to see you at the next meetup, by the way. I will have that planned soon for November. As it is the 5th. I'm going to have it planned soon for November. We've got a black dog here. Anyways, y'all have a good Sunday. Have a wonderful day. Oh, we're having dog earthquakes over here with the dog booty. Remember, try here. Look at this. She's like, please pet me. Try something new. You can do it. And I will talk to you guys next Sunday. Bye, all. Oh, Annie, I'm 5'5.5" because that 0.5 of half of an inch matters, but I'm 5'5.5". All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Stop.